Hey guys, welcome to another fun and exciting IMite GT7 stream. This is the Nations Cup at Trial Mountain and we're about to head off. I forgot to save the recording, so we're using the replay, sorry about that. Trial Mountain Nations in the Red Bull 2019X anniversary or competition cars. This is GT2. This is probably race 4 or 5 of the day. First race for my main account, starting at the back of course, that's what I like to do, feel a bit comfortable doing that. Soft, medium and hard tyres available and required, so starting on hards. Person of the Forest, P1, he's pretty damn good. I reckon he's an AA plus driver, he's pretty damn good. There's another guy, TheGis, who's in P6 at the moment. P6, yeah. Raced a lot with him lately, probably over the last couple of months, so quite familiar with TheGis, and we race quite well together, quite similarly paced. Obviously other familiar names, Drinky Oz, Gamelham, I think that's it. I think really that are familiar. There's other names I'm getting used to as I'm climbing up. I get the feeling this might be top split of GT2. I must admit the numbers are quite low, so we've got 9 people in this race. It's not good at all. It should be 14, 16 people. Don't know why there's just 9. 30 laps, 1 times fuel, 1 times tyre wear. Doesn't seem like that much on the tyres, but over the laps it starts to build up, and halfway through your tyre life they start getting a bit slippery unless you push it a bit too hard, which Gamelham just did. So starting 9th, I've actually made my way on my hards up to P7, and this is my strat is 1 lap on hard, 19 laps on, oh look at that, yeah, 2 guys were going to go in, that was TheGis and Jay Citizen. I think I was going to go in, but after I saw that, I thought I'd carry on. Wasn't sure who they were, but I just thought there's a bit of chaos there, I'll continue on. I really want to get away from everyone and separate myself, so push on for about another 2 laps. So I think lap 3 I actually pull in. And the other reason for that is to just take the pressure off the mediums, because I'm going to be going to lap 20 on mediums. So a bit of clear air is good for me, and to try and settle down and get a rhythm going. So yeah, at the end of the race I was a bit distracted and went to save the recording, and I've began to click save and then thought no, not yet, and once got out I realised once you do that you've lost everything you've recorded. So this is one of those streams where I'm using the replay. That's why you can't see split times between the cars. So a lot of people are pitted. So I did start 9th, got up to P7. A lot of people are pitting, so I'm up to P4 at the moment. My first 2 races in my alternate account were okay, but not great, so I was a bit surprised I've improved in this one. I almost wasn't going to do it, I just wasn't feeling it. Just didn't feel like I was progressing, considering during the week I was practicing getting some good lap times. But lap times in time trial to me were totally different to lap times in the race involving tyre wear. So there's been a few people going for hard tyres, lap 1. And like I said, that was going to be my strategy, but seeing a bit of chaos going into the pits, I quickly stayed out. So we got L Tucker, P1, Person of the Forest, P2, Lord Ted, P3, and Gamelham P5 behind me. So L Tucker and Lord Ted, I've never seen them before. Person of the Forest is new to me, but I'm starting to see his name a bit. Same with P6 Dennis and P8 J Citizen. So like I said, quite a bit of practice during the week, and I wanted to see how long a pit stop was, and I noticed when I came out the pits, I think you come out in second gear, and as you come out the car would just over rev and spin. So I learned, I mean, even with a heap of traction control it would still spin. So I learned you've really got to, like, maybe from second gear to third, fourth very quickly, or back off the revs, but I prefer to just smack up the gears. So coming off the hards and putting on mediums after 3 laps. So we're going 17 laps up to lap 20. So some of the people on hards on pitting on lap 1 have just got past me. So there's TheGis right in front of me, and I've just a little bit cold tyres here. So J Citizen just getting past me there. I don't think that was me. I felt like it was me doing that, maybe clipping him. But I did look at the replay, and I think maybe I've just slowed him up a touch. I've destabilised him a bit, and over that crest he's just swan dived into the wall. So unless it's obvious to me that I've done something wrong, well, I slow down, but I wasn't sure, so I was glad to continue on. Now I'm trying to get a bit of a rhythm. I've got 20 or 17 laps, and just hoping that my strategy, my practice, my planning works out, that my tyres don't die too soon. So start from the back, I was sort of just loafing around the track, and there were a few people that I thought did seem to be a little bit slow, and one of them that came to mind was Gamelham. I haven't raced against him for a while. I get the feeling he might usually be mid B, so it's the first time in a long time I've raced against him, but I did feel like he was someone who was a bit on the slow side, so I'm assuming he's in P4 at the moment. So unfortunately we can't see split times, but there's Giz right in front of me, and I think he's, I'm gonna guess he's 2.5 seconds in front. And right in front of him is Dennis. And it is quite interesting if you try to go for an overtake or let someone pass on these bends, that it can actually slow you up. So if anyone was coming up behind me, I was always trying to push as hard as I can and let them go on the straight, and just drop a little bit, let them pass. So my setup is I actually have traction control 3 on, active stability management, and my brake balance is 5 to the front. Over 17 laps there will be a slight difference in tyre wear had I had the brake balance near the back, and the back does get quite slippery halfway around. So during the week when I was practicing, no traction control, yeah, the car is quite slippery. I think I put the traction control eventually up to 5, and that really helped stabilise the car, and then I started bringing it down. So I got it down to about 3 and I was happy. During the week time trial on softs I could go to TC0 and put out a time of 28.2, minute 28.2, and that is, for me, that is flying, but that's with no tyre wear. So add the tyre wear in with the temperature, I could spin this car. So back to TC3, and I think when the mediums begin to wear, I'd notice a bit of a twitch, which eventually you'll see it maybe lap 15, 16. There'll be a slight slide in the car. That's when I'll put traction control from 3 up to 4. So it looks like the GIS, he's moving quite well. He's got past Dennis, who's in P6, and yeah, I just felt myself slowly closing in. So he's not a familiar name to me. He was in a all-topless race, so I think I've raced against him once. So how was he going to be for an overtake pass? I wasn't sure. Or could I misread the guy? Maybe the tiniest mistake I get past him, but I don't know, he could be really fast naturally. I don't know. So I'm trying to read the guy while I've got this opportunity. But over time I'm just catching and catching. So I thought something's not right. And maybe he's on hards or he's on softs and they're wearing. It's really slowing down here now. And then about here I thought, oh, he's moving over for me. So I've got to do this as cleanly as I can and move on as quick as I can. Not do him a disservice. Luckily I'm not too far away from the GIS. So the goal at the moment, I think, really is to get away from Dennis and then start towing in the GIS, because I knew he'd pitted on lap at the end of lap 1, and I would assume most people would have gone from hard to medium. So my tyres are 2 laps fresher, and I'm sort of feeling it at the moment. I feel like I'm building a bit of a rhythm. Just the occasional time I'll make a mistake, and when you're in the race you see the lap time, let's say between me and the GIS closing up, and then all of a sudden it will, one mistake and it opens up, and then slowly reeling in again. Yeah, so there's Gamoham in P4, and again I was thinking, I get the feeling he might be slow. So why is he up in P4? Maybe he hasn't pitted yet. Because although most of us have pitted, I feel like the GIS and myself have had a bit of a clean race so far. No issues. And we were moving up. So it looks like Person of the Forest is back in P1. He's got some serious pace, that guy. Oh, it looks like T.L. Tucker at the top, mud map. Looks like he's just span. I get the feeling that's him. Yeah. Oh, and he's still sitting there. So it's little things like that you don't see while you're racing. No yellow, he's so far away, there's no yellow flags. And your eyes are pinned on the road. So I feel like I'm closing in on the GIS. But like I said, there's been a number of races that we've done. I think really the first time we kind of acknowledged each other was maybe Monza, which is a stream I've done called I Am the Hunter. And then there's been a couple of other races where we've been almost neck and neck. Spa, I think we started almost doing a formation finish. And then Autopolis, I think again. Yeah. Almost crossing the line at the same time. So El Tucker getting off his softs. And I can only assume someone's left because we're down to 8 people now. Oh, so Drinky Oz. Looks like he has quit. So these races, the whole race, as you enter, you qualify, then the race, then the end, it goes for over an hour. So if the race isn't going too well for you, you start to think, well, shall I quit and go into the next race? But quitting races cost you a lot of DR points. So it's quite costly to be quitting races. So pretty much we're getting close to halfway through my medium tyre stint. I feel like I'm closing on TheGis. And it looks like I've got Dennis, J Citizen, and possibly El Tucker on fresh softs, I believe. Not that far behind me. You're trying to hit the right gear on every corner every time, but sometimes I'll be second or third out of there, getting up to 5th, just getting over the hill and braking, just accelerating out smooth. This is a bit of a sharper corner than what you think, so a bit of a late apex, just changing gear before you go over that crest, getting down a 3rd and then back up to 4th and pushing out, and then stretching out the gears here to about 295. And then this section I feel like I've just got to be like almost semi-sliding. It's a bit of a slide and then slow down and slide, trying to maintain that speed. Just braking a little bit earlier, trying to hit the apexes. I'm really catching up now. So I get the feeling the TheGis just goes a little bit deep at times. He's too focused on pushing hard, and it's just sending him a little bit deep into corners, causing him to lose a lot of time. So he's now catching up to Gamelham, which again I said I had a feeling he's a little bit slow. I think the other 3 behind me are possibly battling a little bit. They're actually quite close to each other now, and they're slowly dropping away from me. So first of all, Dennis. I thought that was really nice of him to step aside and let me through. That was good of him. So I'm pretty sure I'm in the slipstream of TheGis. It's funny when you do time trial during the week, you're on the track on your own, and then you hop into the race, you start getting pretty close to someone in a high speed braking zone, not too sure what to do. Or just hope for the best. So I was just concerned I might be putting the TheGis under a bit too much pressure being that close to him. So my TC3 will be causing me to slow down a bit on that exit. Anyone with 0 TC would just be flying around there. So the TheGis going for a move on Gamelham. I was hoping I'd be able to do the same here. Yes. Just got a better exit. So it's kind of in the in between laps 10 and 20, people are on different tyres and different tyre wear, generally speaking. So moving up quite nice now. So TheGis in third, I'm in fourth. So again, Person of the Forest, P1, and then Lord Ted, P2, which again, never heard of him, but I was assuming that he's another Top Gun, just well ahead. So for some reason, El Tucker, who had pitted for softs, is back to P8. So I can only imagine the battling. Ooh, yeah, there. So that might have been. Yeah, I think it was. That was the slide that made me go from TC3, traction control 3, to traction control 4. Because I'm doing quite well at the moment. Last thing I want to do is absolutely slide this car, get damaged, face the wrong way. To me, that's insurance. I'm prepared to lose a little bit to stay on track. So I've still got another 6 laps to go. So again, TC4, I want to be able to have a bit of confidence going through the corners and be able to push out. So you get those little ups and downs. I think that was a down there, so TheGis has got away. Maybe a little bit of lapse in rhythm. He's managed to get away a bit. And I've got J Citizen slowly moving in. And my lap time's been relatively consistent and pretty good for a medium tyre. 32s, 31s. There's lap 11 was a 30. So they're holding in, they're not dying off too much. So lap 1 was a hard tyre. And then, sorry, lap 1, 2 and 3 were hard. And then from lap 4 I pitted for medium tyres. Yeah, so you can see J Citizen quite close now. I was getting a little bit concerned. Bit of a tap there. I really had to gear down there. Gave me a bit of a tap. So I had a feeling I was going to lose the position here. But next minute I see the gap sort of open up again. Like to give me just a little bit of breathing space. Oh, he's right up close. Yep, and behind me, J Citizen, he just span on that final corner on the exit. So that just, I thought I heard something like a tyre squeal. And then I thought I'd just have a quick look. I think I've seen his car facing towards the wall. And then as I'm pulling away and he's out of sight, I'm just looking at the split time and it started to grow. So he's still in P5, but he's now like 7 seconds behind me. And it's just given me a chance to not worry about behind me and get back to focusing on TheGis. And like I said, TheGis and I have raced quite a bit alongside each other now. So I'm confident that he's not concerned about me and my position. I must admit though, I was hoping he'd be aware of the gap behind me, that there's no pressure. And I wasn't sure what he was doing there, and I thought maybe he just wants to look behind to see if there, are there any other cars behind us. So again, I think he just goes a touch deep there. And I can't believe it. It's like P2 is in sight. That's a bit odd. Pretty sure that's P2. It's not a lapped car. It's hard to tell when there's a lot going on in your mind, racing through your head. Oh, a little bit of a slide there from TheGis. Yeah, that's a sign that the tyres are getting a little bit old, and his tyres are 2 laps older than mine. Late apex here. Try and straighten this bit up. Oh, nah, he's all over. Oh, that was horrible. And I was worried he'd be thinking that I was putting him under pressure. But luckily, there was enough gap for TheGis to... And it was... When he did hit the wall, he actually ended up facing forward. So I was able to just keep pushing on. So he's still... I've now gained P3. And TheGis is back in P4. And yeah, that looks like P2 right ahead. And when I had a look at the split times, I realised, yeah, that's P2. It was like 2-second gap. And what a difference between my first 2 races on my second account and then reluctantly hopping in to do it on my main account. God knows how long Lord Ted had been doing laps on hards. But I'm in second now, and TheGis, who was maybe 6 seconds behind me, maybe a touch more, is in P3. With still a bit of a gap behind him. And through all this, you don't know if Person of the Forest has another 2 pit stops to go. Has he gone this far in mediums and is he yet to do his first pit stop? Or has he done both of them and he's on his way to the checkered flag? It's hard to keep track of all of that. But I mean, he was like 45 seconds ahead. So I thought, well, I think I'm a pit stop ahead of him. And if I am, then that says he hasn't pitted at all. Not too sure. So you can hear the motor sort of slow down there. I think that's traction control kicking in. But moving it up to TC4, it's enabled me to just remain grounded and just keep pushing. And if you have a look at my lap times, yeah, they're dropping a touch. I'm into the low 32s now, so I don't think that's TC4. I'd say it's more the tyre wear, or maybe just a marginal combination of TC and tyre wear. I'm pretty happy. I haven't lost a lot of time going to TC4. I must admit, I felt more comfortable in this race than the first two. The first two races with my second account, I think I was in top split, racing against some A drivers. I think one of the races there was 10 of us, and I think 3 were B drivers and 7 were A drivers. Yeah, so that's it for mediums. And seems like a long race, but you just keep doing lap after lap after lap. Next minute you realise, oh, it's time to pit. And the lap time's 32.2, the last one. Not too bad. So it takes an extra 20 seconds doing the pit stop. It's actually an extra 30. And then your outlap is 10 seconds shorter. So 30 seconds extra, 10 seconds shorter, 20-second pit stop. So if I was doing a minute 32 per lap, and then I did a 2-minute 01, well, that's 29 seconds, but I'm going to say 30. I'm on my softs now, but they are cold. I had to be careful of that. The getting out of the pits was quite tricky, like I said before, I guess. So this one here, if I'm going to do a minute 30 thereabouts, 10 seconds shorter than that, I should do this lap in about a minute 20. But this is going to the end now. And I'm just hoping on 2 things. One, people are going to the end on really worn tyres, or they're yet to pit. So Jay Citizen, he's just now pitting. So we'll see the lap time, minutes 21. So it's pretty close. So that's generally how I work out how long a pit stop is the average lap time going in, average lap time going out. What's the difference? So I think TheGis pitted at the same time as me. So we should be on the same tyre, softs, and at the same wear. It was a bit odd. Here I am, I'm catching up to Lord's Head, and I just thought maybe the 3 front runners were just guns. And I should not be catching up to this guy. I don't know why I am, but I am. Yeah, there, I just cut the corner a bit. I think I'm just focusing on him a bit too much, and I've just cut that corner. Bit disappointing, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse. So half a second. So, I don't know, at the moment, what am I thinking? I want to get close to this guy and just try and put him under pressure. If I just sit back and make him comfortable, it may push away a bit further. I'm going to lose half a second going up the hill on that back straight. So I'm just trying to give him without any contact, just try and make him very nervous. Just going out wide here to try and straighten it up and get a good exit. Half a second, down a fourth, push on. I thought, well, TheGis is going to start catching up. I don't know if he's seen that half second penalty, but I don't think that half second for me did too much damage. So I think from memory I put the traction control back to 3 a lap after putting softs on. I thought, well, I'll leave it on TC4 for lap 1 while the tyres are cold. Once I completed a lap, then I put it back to TC3 to try and pick up the pace. So now that I've paid my penalty, it's now time to get back to giving this guy, who I felt like something's not right. I am faster than this guy. Yep, bit of a wriggle there from him, so I was very lucky to get past him cleanly. That's causing him to just drop away. So I'd say his tyres are getting pretty worn there. Yeah, I count myself very lucky there. He could have gone very sideways into me. So the question for me now is, Person of the Forest and El Tucker, are there any more pit stops to come? And Person of the Forest is just too far away. I think he might even be 45 seconds away at the moment. And throughout the whole race I'm just eyeballing the split times, which you can't see because I didn't save the race itself, but yeah, continually monitoring to see what's going on right in front of me and right behind me. And my soft tyres are wearing down just nicely. 5 laps to go, and the tyre wear isn't too bad. But again, P1, P2, will they pit? Yellow flags. El Tucker, yeah, you just saw him there. Yeah, worn hot tyres, and he span, so boom, I'm in P2. Couldn't believe it. looks like he's hanging on to P3 at the moment. I think momentarily I did see he was catching me, which I was a little bit concerned about. There's quite a gap now between me and L Tucker. And I don't know what lap it is, but there is a certain point when I go back to TC4. I don't think I was going to wait for the car to begin to slide. I think there was a certain point where I thought it's time for it to go up. Again, as a form of insurance. So if you have a look at the mud map top right, you see there's quite a gap between myself and L Tucker. Looks like TheGis has just got past Lord Ted on that back straight around the final bend at the end of the long straight. So TheGis is into P4. Can he make up any more spots to get a P3? Remember, there were 9 of us that started. A little bit sad. And only one person has dropped out, which was Drinkios. And that I just couldn't believe it. L Tucker is pitting. So that puts TheGis into P3. But he still has Lord Ted right on his tail. And like I said, we've done formation finishes before. And I thought, oh, here we go, it's going to be another formation finish. But I'm looking at the gap between TheGis and myself, which I think was around 5-6 seconds. And I could see there was another indicator behind him. So it looks like Lord Ted has just paid a penalty because he's just dropped away from TheGis. So there's a bit of a gap now. And yeah, I was hoping that we could cross the line pretty close. I mean, considering, I mean, if Person of the Forest was 6 seconds ahead of me, I'd be thinking he could, or you know, let's say 26 seconds, he might pit. So there's only one lap to go before you've got to pit at the end of this. So if he is to pit, it's going to be at the end of this lap. So I still wanted to push, just in case. But again, yeah, he's miles ahead. So I knew I couldn't catch up to P1. So I could now start to think about a bit of a formation finish. Just slow down a bit and cross the line pretty close to each other, which is becoming a bit of a regular theme. And it's good to, I think it's good to have someone who's regular in races. racing at very similar paces, acknowledging each other's presence, where, you know, showing respect and making way for each other. So yeah, so Person of the Forest, he's now pitting off mediums onto hard on his final lap, so it helps me catch up somewhat. He's just come out the pits and he's just making his way up the hill on his final lap. That's how much of a lead he has. So yeah, I was starting to look at the gap between TheGis and Lord Ted, and I could see there was a bit of a gap, so I could afford to just slow down a bit. So you'll see this is a final lap, and I do begin to slow down, just gradually. It's nice and slowly. Slow down a bit, like here. So I'm short shifting, just dropping off time just a little bit here and there. And I realise, like, final lap, and I've still got about 5-second gap between us, so I've really got to slow down, but I don't want to do it all in one hit where I literally park up the car. Just want to give him half a second here, half a second there, and he'll catch up. Actually felt good this final lap. It was just nice and relaxed, telling myself, don't cock it up, don't bin it, because I'm really changing the way I'm driving with this slower pace. But I did feel comfortable and relaxed. And then you'll see myself slow down for the photo finish, and it does get pretty close. And that's it, guys. Starting last, 9th, finishing 2nd. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream, guys. Sorry about the quality. I'll do better next time. Thanks for watching the stream. So that was like 111 points, so I was pretty happy with that. And that was it. I was done for the day. Thanks for watching the stream. Hit the like button if you don't mind. Comment and put your posts up if you don't mind, and I'll watch them as well. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.